I get so many comments like this, and 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 this. So today I wanted to share a little bit of my wisdom. I'm actually pretty smart, guys. And explain to you guys the life cycle of Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Before I explain what is this life cycle, I want to explain to you guys why you want to know about it. So many people come to my videos complaining, saying, hey, I got this shiny, it's not going to be rare anymore. Or I got this Pokemon, but then it just got re-released with a shiny. And it can be very frustrating to those people. So it's very important to know how a Pokemon's release works in Pokemon Go, what those steps are, so you can properly start hunting for that Pokemon at the right time to maximize your profit and not end up in a situation where you spent thousands of dollars on a Pokemon just for it to get a community day. Now the life cycle has 3 steps and there's 2 different versions. The first version is going to be for regular Pokemon you can find it in the wild, eggs, research, all of that stuff. Generally it's more used for rarer Pokemon like pseudo legendaries. The second version is going to be for legendary raids. We're going to have Pokemon like legendaries, mythicals, and ultra beasts, and all these Pokemon and how their life cycle works. We'll first start with the regular Pokemon. The first step of the life cycle is going to be, of course, the release of the Pokemon. When does the Pokemon get released in a Pokemon Go? When Pokemon do get released, normally they don't have a shiny. Number 2 is going to be the shiny release of the Pokemon. A couple months after that Pokemon's been released and been utilized in a couple events, pushing people to buy incubators to hatch it, all that stuff, Pokemon Go will release the shiny version to further incentivize people to keep hunting that Pokemon. Finally, number 3 is going to be the community day. Once Pokemon Go's gotten a bunch of money off a certain Pokemon like Gibble, they're going to be like, you know what, we're going to utilize the last of this Pokemon and just build hype in the community around the game, pull back in a lot of players and give it a community day. Although it's free and they don't make any money off of Gibble directly, people are still buying incubators, buying star pieces, and buying items to maximize on this community day. And also they're pulling in a lot of players back because it's a very hyped community day for a very rare Pokemon. The second version, of course, is going to be legendary raids, and it's going to work pretty similarly. Of course, we're going to have the release of the legendary raid boss, whether that be Mewtwo, whether that be Rayquaza, whatever. When a new legendary raid comes to Pokemon Go, that's the release. That Pokemon will probably be released once or twice before it unlocks its shiny form. You know, we're going to be raiding Zacian for maybe one more cycle, and then after that, Zacian's going to get a shiny, and everyone's going to be jumping right back into the Zacian raids because they don't have the shiny yet, they just have the regular version. Finally, number 3 is going to be, instead of a community day and becoming available to everyone, it's going to get a legacy move. This is going to be another reason for people to come back and raid that Pokemon because it got this new exclusive move that you might not have on yours already. So hey, let's try to get the shiny and let's also try to get this new legacy move. Now, I do want to say there are exceptions to this rule. This rule is not a make-all for everything. We have had situations in the past where Pokemon get released with their shinies right away in community day, like Stuffle. It completely skipped every single step of the life cycle. But this is the general formula that Pokemon uses for most of their rare and valuable Pokemon that they know they can make a lot of money off. With that being said, I want to go through a couple examples to help you guys get your mind around how this works. Let's start with some regular Pokemon. Gibble got released into Pokemon Go on May 19th, 2019. Then about 4 months later, in December 16th, 2019, Gibble got its shiny release. You see, they left a good gap there for people to continue to hunt Gibble through the 10-kilometer eggs and all that stuff before giving it shiny and forcing people to re-hunt for it. Finally, June 6th, 2021, Gibble got its community day, in which anyone who spent a lot of money on trying to get shiny Gibble or get that super rare shiny, that shiny just wasn't as rare anymore because it's gotten a community day. Another example is going to be Dino, September 16, 2019, it got released. July 31st, 2020, it got a shiny release, and community day in 2022 on June 25th. You'll see this life cycle over and over and over again with a lot of rare Pokemon, in which I always get comments like, oh my god, Dino got a community day and my shiny's not rare. It's very important to know that almost every rare Pokemon will get a community day at some point. Now let's take a look at some examples of legendary Pokemon. Regice got released on June 21st, 2018. Then on November 1st, 2019, it got its shiny release. And then finally, on January 24th, 2022, it got the legacy move Thunder. The difference with the legendaries though is once they get fully released, they just kind of completely fully cycle. You will continue to get Regice raids with their shiny and their legacy move forever. And that's just to allow new trainers to catch up on any Pokemon they might have missed. Another example is going to be Rayquaza. February 9th, 2018, it got released. July 31st, 2019, it got shiny released. And then March 27th, 2021, it got its legacy move Hurricane. Then this will repeat forever and ever. However, there are certain Pokemon like Rayquaza, for example, that will probably even get 2 legacy moves and can continue to be farmed by Niantic. The Dragon Ascend legacy move on Rayquaza is one we do not have in the game yet, but I can definitely see Pokemon Go releasing Rayquaza with Dragon Ascend to further motivate players to come back to Rayquaza and raid this Pokemon to try to get this new exclusive move. And this brings me to my point. It is very important for you as a trainer to keep an eye out on what Pokemon could potentially get shiny release, could potentially get legacy moves, could potentially get a community day, and then judge based on you, do you want to spend money on that Pokemon? Some examples of Pokemon you might want to keep an eye out are things like Goomy. Goomy in Pokemon Go is definitely going to get a shiny release soon, and then once it gets a shiny release, maybe a year later, it will get a community day. Pokemon like Axew, which already has a shiny release, but it's only a matter of time until we get an Axew community day. Pokemon like Jangmo-o, Pokemon like Timber, which have had a shiny out for a long time and has been getting milked, but it's only a matter of time till it gets a community day. You can also look at some raid Pokemon like Zacian and Zamazenta, which will get shiny releases, and then they will get legacy moves after that. Also look at all the Ultra Beasts which do not have shiny releases yet. You can even take a look at some current raid bosses like Tapu Koko, which is going down near when I'm making this video, which although it's getting its shiny release now, it's only a couple more releases away from getting a legacy move. I'm not trying to make this video to say stop spending money on Pokemon Go until everything gets a shiny release and a legacy move and a community day. I just want you guys to be aware of how this system works so you can implement yourself correctly in that life cycle. You know, if you don't care too much about a legacy move on a raid boss, just wait until it gets released with a shiny and then raid it to your heart's content. But I need to stop seeing people in my comment section coming in and saying, oh my god, I spent so much money on this Pokemon and it's now getting a shiny, or it's now getting a community day, or it's now getting a legacy move. Every Pokemon will just become less and less rare as time goes on, and you need to expect it this way. If you're scared shiny Goomy is just not going to get rare, do not hunt it when it releases because it will get a community day. I hope this video helped you guys out in understanding the Pokemon Go life cycle. If you have anything you want to add, let me know in the comment section below. Again, most of these Pokemon that you get, even if you get them and they get a community day, they are still rare and they can still be valuable to you. But just remember, that's how the life cycle works, and play correctly so you won't be disappointed. That's it from me though, guys. We're going to see you on the next one. Have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Follow for more tips. Peace.